Hey, I'm Kazaru, also known as Kaz or Kax, and this is part 3 of my advanced one-shot speedrunning tutorials. In this video, I'll go over the entire 90% run at a world record level, showcasing any advanced strats that differ from beginner methods. This video will skip over some aspects of the run, as I will assume that you already have decent familiarity with the 90% route. Additionally, I will assume that you understand how multibinds work and how ultramenu works by watching my previous 2 videos. This video will showcase where the multibinds are used, but not how to use them, if that makes sense. Everything I just mentioned is linked in the description. Before getting into the run, I want to talk about some resources first. You can find all of these here on the OneShot Speedrunning page under the Resources tab. The resource I want to mention is the RNG Data Spreadsheet. For every instance of RNG in the run, there's tons of data available. And I'm going to reference the sheet a few times in the video. And I'll point out the Communities Have a Best sheet. This video is recorded with the best known strats at the time of recording, so if this video has gotten a bit old, then the ComSob sheet might have some better strats. Since improvements are usually very small time saves at this point, I'm not going to update this video for every little thing, but if something major gets found, then I will remake this video. Alright, now let's get started with the actual run. Alright, now we're at the start of the run. So first off here, we're going to use Itemselect twice to just pick up the remote and equip it immediately like this. You can hold up so you start moving immediately as the inventory closes. Here, ideally, you can read the numbers as the text is fading away and just hold down and then like time the left press like this. 0315. Alternatively, you can move like this. When you input the code into the computer, something that I want to note, if the first digit is like a 5 or a 4 or a 6, something that takes a while to get to, you can hold down or up when you're loading, and then time a right press. This is pretty hard to time, but it's at the very start of the run, so if your first digit is like bad, then you can make it a little better by doing that. And if you fail, then well, you just reset because you're in the first 30 seconds of the run. Also, I want to note, if your code has 0 as the second digit, then you should input the code like this, because this will save you 1 input so you don't have to go to the left here. During this cutscene, you can hold down and then time the left input, like that, or you can hold left and then tap down here. Alright, now I'm going to mention a very strange time save that was found recently. If you press interact right as you reach a door, you will sometimes randomly save a frame. So you will see me do that for a lot of the doors in the run. We don't really know the timing of this. We don't know if it's frame perfect or if it's like a little more lenient than that. This only works for doors that are straight on. If you have to change your angle to enter the door, then it doesn't do anything. There are some doors where I don't do this just because it's like annoying. So you can pick and choose which doors you try this for. Anyway, once you're here, you just keep holding left, then you time the up press and interact with the plant like that, and then hold down and time the right press. This timing's like kind of hard to get used to. You can see I bumped into the wall for a second. You'll get that down with practice. Here you item select the fridge. As soon as the inventory fades in, you craft the item like this. And then you press left and then item select, and you just keep holding left. So you can start moving again. Here, interact with this. Interact with this. And here you can either tap down and then hold left like this, or you can go left and then down. It's entirely preference. I prefer going like this. As soon as you're on top of this item, then just press item select. You'll get 3 text boxes, and then you want to time an item select press and then hold right. Just get to the bottom of the stairs, and here we're gonna do pan skip. So when you walk far enough here, the camera is gonna move to the light bulb and then move back to Nico, and that takes like 2 or 3 seconds. But if you close the game while you're walking onto the tile that activates that camera trigger, then you can essentially skip it the same way you do for Kipskip. And the visual cue for this is pretty rough. It's this line right here. As it reaches the edge of the screen, that's when you time your Alt F4. So while you're walking down these stairs, you just switch your left-hand grip to be on the Alt F4 keys. You can hold Alt preemptively here, and then you just time, you stop holding right and then spam F4. You're going to get 3 pop-ups here, so just spam F4 until the game closes. Like this. Then you just relaunch the game. And it depends on how far away from the trigger you are. This Quitglitch is a little weird because if you mash the text away too quickly, you might still get the cutscene. So this is just a thing you get down with practice. If you notice your quit is a bit early, then you should delay the auto mash press here slightly so you don't accidentally walk into the trigger. But yeah, once the game is open, hold auto mash and hold right, and ideally you skip the cutscene trigger. If you mistime it, you were too late. If you just can't close the game, it just says there's a cutscene. And if you're too early, then you will just open the game and still get the cutscene. After you pick up the light bulb here, hold left, and here we're gonna do something interesting with the item select button. Instead of using item select through the door like this, what we're gonna do instead is use it on the stairs like this. For some reason, if you press interact on the stairs, it moves you. So if you press item select, it will interact with the stairs that move you and open the inventory at the same time. So this allows you to basically move while you have the inventory open. So you can equip the light bulb losing no time. And the way you do this, you just press item select twice and then you hold left. So just walk into this room, time your first press, and then just press it again and hold left. Like that. After reaching Barrens and mashing away the fast travel info card, just hold right to go right 3 tiles and then go up. And once you're past this rock, you can just go left 1 tile at any point. That's just the optimal line here. Here we're going to use up menu, and the visual cue is this rock right here. You want to stop right before this rock and then press up menu. And while you're going through the screen transition, just spam down select or spam up select, both of them will work. So just mash down select. It'll take you back here. Now, the line you take to Prophetbot does not matter as long as you don't bump into any walls and you only travel down and right. But this is the line I like to take. I like to just go down and to the right a bit until I find this rail. I stay to the left of this rail until I reach this tile. And from here, I just hold right. Because that lines me up with Prophetbot exactly here. Here you're going to do something interesting. You're going to press menu at the right time as you're walking onto this tile right here. So while you're walking onto this tile, press menu. This is a 7-frame window, I think, so just time the menu press. This saves 0.1 if you hit it. Like this. Time pressing down twice here. You just want to get used to that timing. When Prophetbot spins, there's going to be like a small amount of text boxes, and then you can press down twice. So yeah, you press down twice and then you confirm, but alternatively, you can press down and then down select. But you need to be careful if you do that method. If you're still holding down when you press down select, it's not going to work like that. That was the wrong option. So that's why I prefer to just tap down twice and then press select. Here, mash confirm. Then mash cancel. And then if you got the menu press, mash down select. If you didn't get the menu press, then you have to time opening the menu, and then you can mash down select. You go up into the trailer, to the left, go down 1 tile. You need to talk to this tile of the bed, or Nico's gonna walk extra tiles. So talk to this tile of the bed, and then spam yes. Open the game again, mash the dream cards away. And for this dialogue, you can just do down select 6 times, and then normal select the 7th one. For all of the choicers where there's just one option, it doesn't matter which one you press, so it's just easiest to memorize this by doing down select 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then normal select and hold right. Go up 1 tile to pick this up, and then go left and just up 1 tile. So this menu sequence is a little bit tricky. You're gonna item select this door and then press down select, and then open the fast travel menu and spam up select. That'll get you here. Let me show you what that looks like fast real quick. So fast, it would look like this. A common mistake there is if you press down select too early, then you just don't equip the pipe. So if that's happening to you, then press down select a little bit later. Anyway, once you're here, I like to just go down and then to the right, right above this rail. And this just lines me up with the factory. For this, you item select this, and then there's a cutscene, and you have to time the next item select press when the cutscene is over. So I like using this as a visual cue, this thing that's moving. When this thing hits the metal, that's when I press item select again. I'll show you what I mean. So when I enter this, I do the first item select here, and then bam, bam, bam. That's when I item select and then hold left. And something that's important here, when you do this, when you press item select and then hold left immediately, you can see the menu cursor moves to the left. This is a common thing when you're going fast, is like when you close the inventory and want to move immediately, the cursor will move an extra time. And the routing we do generally takes advantage of this. So you want to make sure when you item select this crowbar and hold left, you want to hold left so early that it also moves the inventory cursor, like that. This will save an input in a menu later that we do in like a few minutes from now. When you exit the factory, you go down 1 extra tile and then to the right. And here we're going to use right menu to go into clips. The visual cue I like to use is this line on the factory reaching the edge of the screen, and it's this tile right here. It's like one tile away from being on the edge of the screen. So that's where I stop, and then I press right menu. I actually mistimed that, and when you mistime that run, you just open the menu. It's not that big of a deal. It's like 0.1. But here's what it's actually supposed to look like. When you're walking into here, just mash down select, and then fast travel up select to get back in. Something I'm going to mention though is you can do something called a task travel, which saves an additional 0.1. If you frame perfectly press menu while you're fast traveling, then you can open the fast travel menu again in the middle of the fast travel. I'll try to show what that looks like. Like that. This is really hard to time, especially like in a run setting where you're just mashing down select and you have to time that input frame perfectly. But if you do hit it, then you can just spam up select to go back to clips and you save 0.1. So yeah, that's ridiculously hard, but the good thing about it is you can always try to do it, and if you miss it, you don't lose any extra time. So you can just always press menu and see if you can hit it. Like there, I missed it, so I just do the normal thing. And usually you're going to miss it because it's really hard. After walking through cliffs and go to lookup point, basically everything I talked about for cliffs applies here too. Like you do the right menu, you spam down select, you can try to get the task travel, and then do the up select. Oh, and the visual cue is right here. This is the tile. So like this. Down select. Try to task travel, didn't get it. Up select. When you're exiting the mines, you can use down menu on this tile right here, where Nico is like almost fully obscured by the rocks. And if you hit this, you can just spam up select. So just spam up select while you're waiting here to go to the outpost. But if you miss that, then you have to time the menu input, and the music cue used for that is the 4th note. So right there, and then you just fast travel up select to the outpost. Once you're here, just hold up to enter it, and then go left here, up. And this is like a very small thing I'm gonna mention. If you can, it is usually better to approach items head on. If you have to turn last second before interacting with an item, it's usually harder to optimize. So ideally, your line will look like this. This is like a very small thing though, so if you find this more comfortable, then just do that. But anyway, you interact with this box, and as soon as you press interact here, just press unequip and hold left. You can also press unequip while you're walking here, it doesn't matter. But here you're going to item select this door transition, and when you equip the crowbar, if the menu cursor moved, it should be up here now. If when you equip the crowbar, the menu cursor did not move after you close the inventory, then it will be over here. But ideally the menu cursor is here, so it's confirm, right, confirm. And then you go to the right and do these two, and then to the left and do these two. And when this is finished, you just press item select and then hold up. And again, ideally you hold up so early that the menu cursor will also move like that. And all the timings of this menu are just something you have to get used to with practice, but this is what it looks like fast. Right? Anyway, once you fix the generator and you reach the computer, just interact with it. And move your mouse over to hit yes here, or you can just press left and then hit enter. It doesn't actually matter because the timer doesn't run while the pop-up is up. Just remember to let go of text mesh and then press it again. Here you can press down menu out of this door, and then you fast travel 2 down to the clips. Walk up to the safe, you want to item select the safe, and then you just input your code. Also, the same thing applies from the remote. If this digit is 0, you ideally input it going left, so you save 1 input. And also something I forgot to mention for the remote code. If the last digit you're inputting is either 1 or 9, you can use up select or down select to input it. I personally don't do this, but it is technically timesave. Anyway, input your code. For this dialog, press down select and then do normal select. Also, I don't think I noted this before, but if you fast travel immediately after equipping an item, you don't have to close the inventory. You can just press menu, and that will open the menu on top and close the inventory automatically. So press right, equip the bottle, and then open the fast travel menu, and then spam down select to go to the docks. Once you're here, you go down 2 tiles, and then to the right, and then up here next to the rail. You want to enter on the right side of this rail, just to make the movement in the next screen easier. Also here, while the screen is transitioning, I'm going to do my rebind for the ultramenu. Like so. Anyway, once you're in Stream Swamp, you just copy this movement, because the hitboxes of these pools are like kind of strange, so you just have to copy this movement to go around them optimally. Like this. Once you go past this first big pool, the movement's no longer as restrictive, as long as you're only going up and right and not bumping into walls. I just do something like this. And then I use this as a visual cue. You don't want to go any higher than this tile. After you reach this height, you're just holding right, because you don't want to go above this point. Here you press right menu on this tile right here, and then every fast travel for the rest of Barrens is either up 3 or down 3, so that's nice. For this fast travel, it's up 3. Like that. Once you're here, just go right for a few tiles and then up through the gap there, and just keep going this way. And here, there's something funny you can do with the ultramenu button, and this saves 0.1 if you do it. If you press ultramenu to interact with this vent, then it opens the menu on top like that. As long as you're still holding up when you press the ultramenu button, this will work. So that just opens the fast travel menu a little bit earlier, so while the cutscene is going, you can just mash confirm, and then when the menu opens, go down 3. And do it like this. So that's just like a small thing you can do with the ultramenu button there. And just go left for a few tiles and go up. Left and up through this. Go left. Here you're going to item select this, and then you're going to time the down press and then item select again and then hold right. It's going to look like this. So that's just the timing you have to get used to. It's a little bit of a tricky one. I don't really have any sort of visual cue for it. I just go by feel. Anyway, after picking that up, you just exit through here and then just go right for a while. And here you're going to right menu into the screen, and the transition is right here. So my visual cue is just when I'm in the middle of this black line, that's when I right menu. And here the fast travel is down 3. Then go left and down. I like to use this as a visual cue. Like I go down to this tile and then just hold left. And here I'm going to do ultra menu. So if you don't know how this works, then watch my previous video. That's where I explain how this trick works. There, I intentionally don't move the menu cursor. That's the one place in the run where you don't want the inventory cursor to move like on extra time. Also, normally when you pick up the sponge, you do this, like last second turnaround. To avoid this, you can do this instead. Again, this is a very small thing, so it's pretty much preference. Anyway, now the second ultra menu, and I'm actually going to note here, for the ultra menu, the only part that needs to be fast is the ultra menu press and then the obsoletes. You only have to do that quickly, and then you're kind of speed capped by having to wait for the craft to finish. So you can take your time inputting the fast travel, as long as you fast travel before the craft finishes. So you can see I'm going to do the fast travel part slowly, and it's still going to not lose any time. Okay. The rest of Barrens is pretty simple, though there is one thing you can do with the ultra menu button here to save 0.1 again. Yeah, this was very funny. It's a very smart discovery by Barry. So when you interact with this robot, you have to interact with it twice. And for the second interaction, you can use the ultra menu button instead to open the fast travel menu earlier. But to do this, you have to do it in a very specific way. So when you start this cutscene, hold down and then hold right and keep those held, and then time the ultra menu press. Like that. That was very late timing. I timed it completely wrong because I was like talking, so I didn't hear my music cue. I use a music cue to know when to press it. I can't really explain it, you're just gonna have to mess around with this. And the reason you have to time this is if you mash it, it's usually just not gonna bring up the menu for some reason. So it's better if you can time that press. Anyway, if you hit it, then you just mash confirm during the cutscene, and then it will open the menu as soon as it's over. And then the fast travel is just up 3. Go talk to Silver. Silver's just the usual. You item select this door transition, and the cursor should be here, so the menu is just left confirm, and then you fast travel down 3. And then you just talk to the robot. And that is Barrens done. Normally for ultra menu here, you rebind here, and you rebind back to normal here. But there's actually another 0.1 time save you can do with the ultra menu button in Glen. And that's some genius routing found by Kyoshi. At least I think Kyoshi found it. He's the only one I've seen do this. So you're actually going to keep your ultra menu button here because you don't need to use down select for like the majority of Glen, surprisingly. Anyway, now we're in Glen, and here there's a music cue. Just hold right and then you time the up press on like one of the piano notes here. That one. And you just come down here. Here, we're going to down menu on this tile. It's like right below this green tile. That's the visual cue I use. And here you have to do the thing where you fast travel out and then fast travel back in. And normally you do that with down select and up select. But for this one, you actually only have 2 options, so upselect works for both of them. So since your ultramenu button is still active and you don't have downselect, you can just use upselect for both of these and it works. Like that. Also, you can try to task travel for this as well. I missed it. It's just really hard. That's the last one you do. There's only 3 of them in the run. If you hit all of them, which is ridiculously unlikely and ridiculously hard, you save 0.3, so... Anyway, once you fast travel back to the forest, just make sure to not make Calamus walk by only going right 2 tiles before reaching him. Like that. If you make Calamus walk at all, then you're losing time. Right before the ruins, you go up 1 tile here, and then go down. And here I'm going to talk about the Glen rowbot a bit. You probably remember this guy. The RNG spreadsheet has a lot of information on the chances of him blocking you and also how you're supposed to play around him. You can like observe his movement at the start and then decide what to do based on that. So if you're interested in knowing all that, then you can go to the RNG spreadsheet and then press the Glen rowbot tab at the bottom and read up on that. After that, it's just walking all the way to Maze and giving her the sun and then walking all the way to the Alula room. So there's nothing really to talk about there. So I'm just going to cut to that point. There's a solution here that saves 0.5 over the beginner solution. And there's like 4 different ways to do this that are all the same amount of tiles. It pretty much just involves there being 2 different ways to draw the bottom part of the grid. And then you can either go counterclockwise here or you can go clockwise here. So that makes it 4 different methods total. So here's just all of the images of the different lines you can take. I'm going to be using the one in the top left and it's also the one I just recommend the most. But you can try the other ones if you don't like that. So here's what the line I take looks like. So that can take you a lot of practice to get down, so just really grind that out. But it is very satisfying when you can do all of that without stopping. After you rescue Alula, you just get to this point, and here I'm going to talk about the rams. So I'm just going to tell you what to do here, and you're just going to have to believe me that this is the best way to do it. If you want to know why, then you can read the ram theory tab on the RNG spreadsheet. So after you rescue Alula and you get here, you want to go to this tile right here. You want to be above this line, and you want to enter the village from this specific height. And then you want to follow the line I take here. So go all the way to this ram and then go up here and then left and then up to the guy. Once you reach him, you spam interact on him so you can say yes to his dialogue choicer and then you just hold down. Hold down and then react to the rams. If you have to dodge the ram at the top, then go left to dodge him and then correct back to the right when you're down here. Once you're here, the solution here is just the solution you already know, but you should know that this is probably the most underrated place to save time because the way you time your interact presses on these can make like a big difference. So you like unironically want to practice this a lot to make sure you can get all the interacts on these rams like fast. I'm personally not very good at it because I neglect practice on this, but the solution just looks like this. And then on the very last ram push, you want to item select this. Then you just go through this cutscene and then you press right and confirm to equip the bull. And then you fast travel to up to the forest. Once you reach the forest, hold right and go down to talk to Calamus before he can move. Spam confirm. Say yes to this. And this cutscene is just very long. After that cutscene's over, you just go left and then you go down and get the sun back from Maze. And then you go back to the ruins exit and go to the trader. I'm just going to cut to that point because it's just walking. Alright, once you're here, this is finally where we're going to use the ultramenu button that we still have. This is the thing that Kyoshi found. So normally when you talk to this trader, you want to like time the presses in a specific way so you don't get stuck in a dialogue loop. But what Kyoshi found is if you use the ultramenu button on this guy, as long as you're still holding up, when you press the ultramenu button on this guy, it will open the menu on top of him. And then you can just spam confirm and not have to worry about timing anything like this. Until the menu opens like that. And then it's just down 2 and then fast travel here. So that makes the trader menu just so much easier. So really smart time save that Kyoshi found there. So after this, you just sleep and you talk to this tile of the bed. Spam yes. Open the game and mash these away, and here you're gonna rebind your down select back to normal finally. Don't forget to do this. Now you actually want your down select back. So you mash these away, and when it's fading to black, that's when you do the rebind. So it's after this card right here, and then rebind back to this, and then hold text mesh. For this, the options are just top, bottom, top, bottom. So it's just confirm, down select, confirm, down select. After that, here you're going to item select the door transition here, and there's two ways that I see people do this menu. The first way is how I'm used to doing it. I down select this, and then I hold down during the transition so my cursor moves down quickly like this to the bottle. And as it's moved down to the bottle, I time my confirm press, and then I hit left and confirm again, and then I time the item select press and keep going down. So quickly that should look like this. And then the other way you can do it is you can item select the door transition, and then you just do right down select twice. So right down select, right down select. And then you just time the item select here and keep going down. So quickly that should look like this. Anyway, once you have that equipped, don't talk to the robot, just hold up into the door and the cutscenes will play automatically. After that is just a lot of walking until Refuge starts, so I'll cut to that point. So now we're in Refuge, you just go left for a while, go down one tile, and then go down one tile here. And here, timing this down input here after the cutscene is it's just hard. You just have to get used to that. Like that. And while you're walking down here, you're gonna switch to the Alt F4 grip. We're gonna do another Quitglitch here to skip a cutscene. This one saves like a second. So yeah, while you're walking down here, just switch to Alt F4 grip. And you stop right here. While you're walking onto that last tile there, that's when you quit out. So like this. And again, you can hold Alt preemptively and then just stop holding down and spam F4. That's like the best way to do quick glitches. Anyway, you just reopen the game. And then mash confirm and keep going down. That just skips like a small cutscene. Something I'm gonna note as well is the earlier your quit is, the better. This only saves like 0.1 compared to like the latest possible quit. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, but if you're really trying to hyper optimize, then the earlier you do the quit, the better. That rule, early quit equals better, does not apply to the house quit glitch, the pan skip, because that text box is like different. Anyway, once you're past that, just talk to lamplighter and then talk to the elevator button. Head to the right, you go down one tile. And here we're gonna down menu through the screen transition here. And the visual cue for that is right here, when this railing touches the top of the screen. And then this fast travel is just a down select. And then go left, down one tile, enter left here. Then it's just left two tiles and down two tiles, and then you interact with this tile up the bed. Reopen, master this, and here the dream dialogue is all down selects. You can just do down select for all of them. So it's very easy. Then time the menu press here, and then just spam confirm. Normally you can't fast travel while indoors, but for some reason you can in that one room. And there's no fast travel point for that room, so it just defaults to the top of the list, which is where you want to go. So that's why spamming confirm just works. Then just hold right. Go pick up the coffee tin. And here this menu is a little bit particular. It can take a little bit of time to get used to. You want to item select the door transition and then hold down. So the cursor does this thing. And then when it scrolls down, you just time the confirm press, and then you immediately open the fast travel menu and then spam down select to go here. So performed fast, it should look like this. Then you just head left and go up and to the left here, and then it's just a lot of walking. You pick up the scissors and the magnets, so I'm just going to cut ahead a bit. So I'm going to mention real quick for the magnets pickup, you don't have an option here, you just have to do the turnaround into the pickup. But something you can do is instead of doing that, you can press up select like this. This is a little finicky, and in theory it doesn't really save any time, but that is a way you can pick up the magnets if you want. Anyway, once you've picked up both of your items here, you want to item select the door transition and then hold right. Holding right there just moves the cursor to the scissors instantly. Then you confirm on the scissors. Then you confirm, left, confirm, and then fast travel up to or down to. Both work. Here's what the entire menu looks like fast. and then go right. Here you just go up here, and then you walk right until you reach the tape dispenser. And you just interact with the tape dispenser, go down left. And here you're just gonna item select this door transition, and then just hit confirm. And then fast travel up too. So quickly that just looks like this. And then just hold up and spam confirm to place the button in the slot immediately. Here, when you're waiting for this, hold up and then time a confirm press. Right here. That was late, but yeah, that's like an input that's kind of hard to time. Alternatively, instead of holding up and then timing confirm, you can just time pressing up select. So that's just preference. But once you're in here, you just input the code 63014, and this is just practice being able to do this quickly. You can see I fucked it up. Once you have that, just hold left and then time an up press into the elevator like so. Here you want to ask all three of the questions, just don't resume awkward silence. And obviously don't ask questions you've already asked. The order of them doesn't matter, so you can just do that in whatever way you want. I personally like doing 1, 3, and then 2. So while I'm waiting for the first cutscene to finish, I just spam confirm, and then time down 2, and then confirm, and then I just spam down select for the last one. So that's my preference. Here, just hold right for a while, and you get the alley. You just go here, and then immediately hold down to exit it, and keep going right. Down here, and then you want to right menu on this tile. This is the visual cue, it's this brick right here on the left side of it. So right menu that, and then just down select for the fast travel. Here, I like holding right and then tapping down here to go past the trash bag. Then you go up here, and you item select through this transition. The cursor should be over here, so you go left confirm, and then you fast travel with down select. So quickly, that menu looks like this. And just hold up. Switch to your Alt F4 grip while moving here. And here, ideally, if you're very fast, you can just do it like this. And then relaunch. And that's how you do the Kipskip thing. If that's a little scary, then just stop for a second first and do this. It really doesn't lose much time at all. Once that's done, you just go right 2 tiles and then up. And then you just talk to George like normal. Alright, so this is after I'm done sleeping. Here I'm going to talk about George's movement a little bit. The first time you talk to George, she doesn't have time to move, but when you enter from this room, she can move up to 2 tiles. And that RNG is just about equally as important as the actual dialogue RNG. So yeah, you can check out the RNG spreadsheet again for full details on George RNG. But yeah, you just react to how she moves, and ideally you don't lose any tiles doing so. So, like this. Or like this. I'm just gonna note though, if you approach her from this side, you can never lose tiles, in theory. But if you approach her from this side, then one of the RNG cases out of all of them can lose you tiles. The spreadsheet explains it in more detail than that. Anyway, for the second Kipskip, this one is pretty scary because ideally, you can just do it like that. And I almost soft locked, so that just shows how difficult that is. But yeah, ideally, you're just able to switch to your Alt F4 grip while you're walking down here, and then just hold left, and then time this. And it's pretty hard to get down. So that one might take you some practice. If you don't like that, then just tap left here, and then do this. Doesn't lose that much time. Anyway, once you're here, you just go through the dialogue, and then the timing here is also weird. You want to hold left and then go down, and the timing is just hard, so you move left exactly 1 tile. So that's just something you also have to get used to. You go down here, you down menu out of the library, and then you spam confirm for the dialogue choice here, and then spam up select for the fast travel. Then you just make your way to the tower here. And here, while you're walking to the tower, you want to switch your left hand to Alt F4 grip, and you just want to get used to the timing of when you're supposed to Alt F4 here. It's a little bit weird. Because if you're too early, it will just not allow you to close, and then you probably lose a little bit of time trying to react to that mistake. Anyway, now we're in tower, and there's really not much for me to talk about here because the solutions are always the same, and you should already know those from just knowing the route. Well, there are like a few things that I'm going to talk about. When you go to sleep here, just hold enter, but don't hold it for too long because you might accidentally hit the utility with the enter press here. So let go of enter while the game is fading out, because otherwise you might accidentally interact with the utility. And after you sleep there, make sure that Clover is open at this point, because if it's not open at this point, then this happens. And then you have to spam confirm here. And then open Clover. And now it works. And that just loses you several seconds, so make sure that doesn't happen. Anyway, past that, I'm just going to talk about the doors here for a bit. The solutions are always the same. You already know the solution. There's just one thing I'm going to mention here. For some of the rooms, you want to like go exactly one tile in a direction and then switch the direction immediately. And if you're trying to be optimal, that can be kind of hard here. Like here, I want to hold down and then go right one tile, and I fucked it up. Right? So I have to like hold down here and then time pretty well when I want to hold right. Like that. And then here's the same thing. Timing this movement is pretty hard. As you can see, I walked an extra tile. And then the room after this is also one of those rooms where you go down one tile and then to the right. So that can be hard to time. And then this room is like the last one that's kind of hard like that, where you go down one tile and then to the left. So you really have to lock in for the doors if you're trying to be optimal. You have to like be pretty solid with your movement there in some of those rooms. After that, you have the tile puzzles, and the first three, you should absolutely be able to do these without stopping. The first one's very easy. The second one can take a little bit of practice to get down. These zigzags are a little bit harder than they look. Right? And then this one's really easy. And then the light bulb, this is the hardest movement skill check in the run. Great thing to have at the very end of the run. I recommend putting a lot of practice into this. Thankfully, the utility now has a save specifically to practice this. This was not possible before. Before to practice this, we had to go through the entirety of tower because you can't create saves. But then Durable figured out how to create saves there with the help from Gur. So huge shoutouts to them. It's very easy to practice Lightbulb now. Actually a game changer. Anyway, the normal solution here is a little bit slower than like the advanced solution that draws the inner ring differently, and I'll show you that. So the first part is exactly the same as before though. Like that, and like this. Down here, this weird movement. And I fucked it up. Like this. You do this thing, right, where you go to the right two tiles, and then left one tile, and then right one tile like this. But here, instead of immediately going up, go down first, and then go up. And yeah, once you've done that, now you go up and do the rest of the circle here until you get to this point. So if you finish the puzzle in this way, and then from this point, just hold right, then it puts you over here. And there's actually an alternative way to do this, so this is how I do it. But you can also do it like this, and this is the same amount of tiles, so it's preference. And I think this is how Barry and Kyoshi do it, and you take the line like this instead. So that's just preference, you can do whichever one of those you find easier. Just make sure at the very end, when you're doing the final like right press, that you keep holding down right, so Nico walks this extra tile. This is what makes the warp fast. While editing, I realized I didn't show the solution without interruption, so here's the full thing. But yeah, that's Lightbulb. It's very, very hard, especially if you do it with no pauses. It can take you a lot of practice. I probably put many hours of practice into it combined, and I still fuck it up sometimes. Anyway, once you fade in here, just hold right, and then time up and left like that. Then just spam confirm here for a while. Until the screen fades to white. Here you can stop that. Hold left, switch your left hand to Alt F4 grip. And as soon as Nico moves, Alt F4. Make sure you also stop holding left. As soon as Nico moves, stop holding left and spam F4. Again, the earlier you do this quit, the better. And for this one specifically, it's like much more important. So you really want to be greedy with this one. Just don't be too early. That's not worth greeting for. Anyway, once you're out of bounds, it's just the same stuff you already know how to do. Here in the elevator, just walk all the way up and wait here. Mash confirm here until you've done 7 choicers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now mash down select. And now you're down here, so spam interact here on the door. That down select on the last choicer saves 3 frames, so, and it's completely free, so just do that. But yeah, that's the end of the run. Which choice you make here doesn't matter, so do whatever you want. And there you go. Now you know how to play 90% at a top level. Though there is one very silly thing you can do that I'm going to mention before I stop recording here. So you may notice when you're playing the game, when you pick up their mode and you read it, it can sometimes be kind of hard to read the numbers, and this is because they're kind of spaced out, and also the 8 and 0 can very easily be confused together if you're like trying to read it quickly while it's fading. And to get around this, you can play the game in Korean. So set the language to Korean, it's the symbols that look like this. And when you do this, you'll notice that the font changes and the numbers are all together like this. At least in my opinion, it's a lot easier to read the code with this font and when their digits are this close together. And that's the only thing that affects. The rest of the game is exactly the same. And of course the downside to doing this is now you play the game in a language you don't understand, and technically this saves no time. It just makes it easier to read the code, in my opinion. So you can do that if you want. I personally play like this. I don't think anyone else does. Because again, you have to play the game in a language you don't understand. Though technically that shouldn't actually matter because you should have every input of the run memorized to the point where the language doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to read any text to figure anything out. But yeah, that's the end of my advanced tutorials for OneShot. I hope you were able to get something out of this. That's all for now. Bye.